Second segment of our show. Our second segment is Lost in Translation. Lost in Translation, get emails from celebrities and fans that vent their frustration. And Dan is back, and Kyrie, good to have you guys back on the show.
Glad to be here.
It's funny, you know, I wish the viewers could listen to our off-air conversations rather than what we talk about actually on air, because it's probably more interesting than what you're watching. But let's get right to it, guys. I mean, first email, Dan, what's on the agenda?
Well, we got Josh from Brookline. Mm-hmm. Yes, what's your most memorable moment in the 2008 playoffs?
Kyrie, what do you think?
I'm going to have to say Chris Paul. Ladies and gentlemen, he was phenomenal.
Yeah.
Let's think of what he did against the Mavericks. Outclassed Jason Kidd. Mm-hmm. Jason Kidd we're talking about, who Chris Paul at the end of his career. But it wasn't even close. You know, Chris Paul looked out in high school and elementary. He looked up to Jason Kidd, you know. But the way he outplayed him, and then when he went on to play San Antonio and how he was just dominating their defense, I mean, it was crazy. I have to say Chris Paul put on a show this playoffs.
I really think this
was
the playoffs where the torch has been passed. The torch has been passed to the younger guys. Chris Paul, LeBron James. I mean, the torch has officially been passed. I'll tell you what, my favorite series. I mean, of course, I'm a Celtics fan. I'm biased. My most memorable moment was Game 4. Yep. Game 4, the comeback. I mean, it's funny because always in these great games, you always have a story to tell. I remember I was at work. I was trying to rush home. I came back late. Like, you know what? It's probably going to be a close game. They're down by 20. Like, what the heck is going on? What's going on? I'm like, you know what? I was about to turn off the TV. But I said, you know what? Let me just watch it just for giggles. Eddie House coming alive. Yep. P.J. Brown. And led by Garnett, Pierce, and Allen. That was my most memorable moment. Because I thought that game right there solidified the championship for the Celtics. I thought that was a championship game right there. I thought that was the day where the Celtics grew up and played like men.
I mean, honestly, this has been the best playoffs I've ever seen in my life. This has been, and I'm willing to go on a limb and say that. You had the bad. You had Denver getting swept by the league. They were just terrible. And then you had the Celtics going 7 games against the Hawks. Then you had the great. You had, like you said, Chris Paul growing up and showing everybody that he is probably one of the best point guards in the NBA, better than Deron Williams. And you had him and Tony Parker having great battles. Yeah. You had the Lakers blowing everybody away in the West. You had the comeback. That's the greatest moment of the playoffs to me. I mean, you have LeBron James dunking on the Celtics and, you know, making me sick to my stomach. But there was great moments throughout the whole playoffs, but it is Game 4, the comeback.
And I really, excuse me, I really think this, another great moment for me was emotional, was watching, and we got the newspaper article right here.
Oh, yeah.
Kevin Garnett, I mean, so emotional. After I thought Kevin Garnett literally was going to have a heart attack.
I thought he was going to faint.
In my mama, top of the world. It's impossible.
Certified.
Everything's impossible. You know, I'm like, this guy.
He deserves it.
But the moment, that picturesque moment, talking about the torch being passed, seeing Bill Russell hug Kevin Garnett.
And he said, I hope
he said, I got one of my own.
Yeah. That was probably one of my best moments.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, hands down. But it's funny because when you think about these playoffs, the NBA was dead. You know, they thought the NBA was dead after Jordan. You know, but it's come alive again. I mean, you got to thank these players. I mean, Chris Paul, D. Will, you know, LeBron James. You know, these players have energized the NBA. Kobe Bryant and the Celtics and Lakers have polished it.
Yep.
You know, but Kyrie, what's the next one?
Comes from Brett Michaels from San Francisco. He says the Eastern Conference has won 3 of the last 5 NBA Finals. Was the Eastern Conference underrated? Is the East more better dominant conference?
Dan, what do you think?
I think that the East is the more dominant conference. This whole year, you saw everybody talking about the West, how the 8 teams in the West have a much better record than the 5 bottom teams of the East. And then you see everybody's talking about, the Celtics in Detroit have the best record in the NBA, but everybody else is far less superior than the whole Western Conference. And I think that the NBA Finals is where the men come out and play and the little boys can go home. You got all the softies in the West that can throw up 120 points on a regular basis, but once they play some good solid defense and some grown men in the paint, they lose every single time.
To elaborate on that, what you were saying, yeah, the West is better in depth. Like, the separation from the first to, like, 5th, 6th seed was like 2 games. Yep. They're good in depth. You know what I mean? But this playoffs, we just showed what none of that stuff really makes a difference when it's time to play basketball. Look at the Atlanta Hawks. They were like 15 games, 20 games on a 500. They took the Celtics to 7 games. Took the Celtics to 7 games. The Western Conference 8th seed, the Denver Nuggets, won 50 games. They got swept from the Lakers.
Yeah.
I mean, these guys play hard just because they, it just shows the difference between regular season and the playoffs. But the Eastern Conference, those 3 big nachos, those 3 big Fenway dogs up there, the Celtics, the Pistons, and the Cavs, they're solid. They could flat out handle the West any given night when they have to.
Because you know what? This actually adds another question. I'll put it out there, but Eastern Conference, we're just tougher.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? We're just a tougher team, and I'll tell you this right now. If Cleveland gets to anybody, I've been saying this if Cleveland gets anybody besides LeBron James, they're one of the championship favorites with the Celtics next year. But look at the Western Conference, especially this Lakers series. The European players. Are we going to see a more? I'm saying. No, I don't get racial here. No, I'm saying the European players seem to be a lot more softer. Are we going to see an influx of European players in the next 10 years? Because we started to see them with Dirk Nowitzki, the guy from Toronto, Bagnati or whatever his name is, Andrew Bogut, and these
great talents.
Yeah, but are we going to see more
hard? I mean,
I want to see you trying to. I don't know if we're going to see one dominate.
I don't think they're as tough as the American players.
They're not as tough.
No,
they don't have They don't have it. It's something that you're born with. You either have it or you don't. You see Paul Pierce go out there and win a game. You see Kevin Garnett. He has it. They don't have it. Paul Gasol, he'll bump his chest a couple times. He'll scream, and then nothing. He'll have a 5-point game in the NBA playoffs, finals.
I mean, Dirk Nowitzki, I think, is the crown jewel. I mean, he's the best European player. But
ever.
But Don Nelson and Steven Jackson ripped him to shreds last year, and Chris Paul ripped him to shreds.
Yeah.
I mean, I think in the next 10 years, it's a big European influx. We'll see European players like the guy Darko Milicic. We're not going to see a lot of them come in the top 10 picks anymore. I really don't think so.
Because it's proven that they could shoot little hooks and they could drain a couple threes, but they don't have heart. They don't have what it takes to win a championship. They don't have a champion's mentality.
But then again, if we say that, Lamar Odom, I mentioned this last time. Lamar Odom's from New York, from Brooklyn. He's the softest guy in the NBA. He's one of the softest guys in the NBA. He's this big tough guy.
But that's one person. You know what I mean? Not everybody, even in America, not everybody's born with it.
Yeah.
You either got it or you don't. I'm just saying that more of us got it than they do.
I mean, I really think we actually talked about the Lakers in the first segment. What do you see next happening? Is it going to be? I think it's going to be an implosion. I think Kobe Bryant's going to. We said Kobe, you got your players, and you still lost.
You've seen good Kobe, and you're about to see bad Kobe again. You saw bad Kobe, good Kobe, bad. You've seen it throughout his whole career. When he first came in, bad Kobe. Shaq came, good Kobe. Shaq stayed too long, bad Kobe. No good players, bad Kobe. Started winning, good Kobe. Lost the championship. Yeah. He's a crybaby. You see it every single time. Even when they were down by 40 points in the last game of the series, he's complaining about fouls. They're not going to call a foul. There's 2 minutes left. You're down by 40 points. They're ready to drop the balloons. That's what's going to happen. And he's crying about a foul. And what's his name? The little one. Oh, man. Vujicic was crying about a foul that Ray Allen did on him, like with 2 minutes left too. The whole team is soft. That's what we're talking about. Every time Kobe Bryant gets the ball and he gets touched, he thinks he should be getting a foul, and he cries about it. That's the difference between Kobe Bryant and Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan never complained about anything.
No, Michael would complain. He complained after the game. But during the game, he was focused. He was on a mission, and he let the referees made a bad call. He gave him that look. And then he went right back to play, stuck his tongue out and dunked. Yeah. And that's what it was. That's Michael Jordan. That's the biggest difference. Kobe Bryant complains about every single thing. Quick Michael Jordan story. This is the mentality. We have to wrap this up, but quick Michael Jordan story. Jordan came along, it was against Utah Jazz, dunked on John Stockton. People from the bench were saying, hey, dunk on someone your own size. The next play, Jordan came along and dunked on Greg Ostertag. He told the bench, was that big enough for you?
I mean,
that mentality that Kobe doesn't have.
Kobe doesn't have it. I've been telling people this forever. Kobe Bryant is the best player in the NBA. The best player in the world right now. Nobody can